Have you ever wanted a makeup lesson but didn't want to necessarily go sit in the store in front of everybody and try to learn how to do makeup in the store? Well, this video is for you then, because I'm going to teach you all of the basics for completing a full makeup application. I invite you to grab your products, have a seat, grab your mirror, and let's play with some makeup. The first step to makeup application is actually skincare. The reason being is you want a nice smooth canvas to put your other products on top so they look natural and smooth. If the skin is dry, has texture, or if the products are too creamy and emollient, your foundation and makeup will just slide off the skin. If there's dryness, if there's texture, then the makeup will look unnatural because it's picking up on that texture. So our goal with makeup is to create a smooth surface and have it properly hydrated and balanced for makeup application. After cleansing the skin, the most important step is exfoliating, because this will remove any excess oils, dry, dead surface skin, and smooth out any texture. I like Medicube, and these are great little easy pore pads that you can use that will give you a nice exfoliation right before you apply your makeup. The next product is toner. This is going to boost hydration without adding too much. It will also help with the exfoliation and pores. Next is going to be eye cream. You do want to prep your eye area specifically with an eye cream. Reason being is it's going to be a different texture and consistency, and it's designed to go around your eye area specifically. This is what will help your concealer look smooth and not cakey. Next up is going to be your moisturizer. I like to use a lighter weight moisturizer during the day than I do at night, even though I have dry skin. So this Medicube Collagen Jelly Cream works fantastic for prepping the skin for makeup, hydrating it, but not being overhydrated and slippery so the makeup slides off. Now, you probably have your own products laying around your house. So you'll want to find an eye cream, an exfoliator, a toner, and a moisturizer. And that will be your skincare prep. You can also add serums and other products like that, and that's totally fine. I actually highly recommend a vitamin C serum, especially during the daytime, but it's not essential for makeup application. So you want to start with these 4 products and have clean skin that's hydrated and balanced. The final product you'll want to use is SPF. Even if your foundation has sunscreen in it, it is really important to completely cover your skin with at least an SPF 30 every single day. This helps to prevent damage from the sun. In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of applying complexion products. The products that you're going to need for this lesson will be a foundation, a concealer, a powder, and your tools consisting of a sponge, a powder brush, and a smaller powder brush for around the eye area. I'm going to first start applying foundation just to the areas where I feel like I want to even out my skin a little bit more. I'm going to go in with my fingers, and I'm going to use a little bit of product at the center of my forehead. I have a little bit of redness there. And you can blend this out with your fingers. You can blend it out with a brush. Today I'm going to use a beauty blender. And how you prep your beauty blender, get it completely wet, and then you're going to squeeze out all the excess water. That way it's not going to absorb your product, it's going to just help you blend it and smooth it onto the skin. Next, I'm going to go around the nose area and apply a little bit of product right around the nose, reducing any redness. And then going in with the sponge and just dabbing it like this. If you wipe, it's going to remove the makeup. That's why you want to dab it and blend it out into the other areas of the face. And I'm going to go into the chin and apply a little bit there. And just press that out. And that's it, that's foundation. A really easy way to do your concealer is to use a wand concealer like this, and you can just go directly onto the skin. So here I do have some sunspots here, a little bit of acne scarring here, And then of course we want to go under the eye area. I like to put a little bit in the corner and then just go right through here, avoiding this area. That's where we smile, have expression lines. Unless you have some darkness in that area, you don't need to put any. Put a little bit here because I do have a little discoloration on the outer part of my eye. Same thing on this side. And here I do have some spots right in this area. So we're just going to do some spot coverage. And you're going to use the same technique. You're just going to dab. Press, press, press. And what you can do if you want to make it really simple for going in for eye makeup is take your sponge around onto the lid and do just a little bit of concealer on there. Not a heavy amount, just very sheer, because you don't want your eyeshadow to crease. And that's concealer. Now we're going to set everything and lock the cream makeups in place using powder. Since I have dry skin and I am over 40, I like to use a small amount of powder, and I'm using a translucent sheer powder. The main area that we want to set is around the eyes because that's where we have applied concealer and that's where we have a lot of expression. So I'm going to take the fluffy, it's basically an eye blender brush, tap off any excess and lightly brush it all the way up to the lash line, setting the concealer and setting the lid and going through the brow as well. And if you're going to be using all powder products like powder blush, powder bronzer, at this point you would go ahead and set the rest of your face with a powder brush and powder. Since I'm going to be using cream bronzer and cream blush, we're going to wait to set with powder until after those products are applied. And that's complexion. It's smooth and even, it looks like skin, and we used 3 products: foundation, concealer, and powder. In this video, I am going to teach you how to apply your bronzer, blush, and highlighter. For this beauty lesson, you are going to need bronzer, blush, and a highlighter. I'm going to be using cream products since I have dry skin and I am over 40. I find that these products are more smooth on my skin. An easy technique for bronzer is to use a bronzing stick and just apply directly to the skin, and we will blend it out with a brush. So here, here, and here. And you're going to take a brush and blend that out. And make sure you push it back into the hairline. It will look more natural that way. You don't want to bring your bronzer or your contour too far down on the cheek, so leave that apple clean. Blend along the forehead. See how that adds nice warmth, it adds dimension to the skin. And when I blend the nose, I just go up and down like this to keep the product specifically in the area where we placed it. Blending out on this side as well. The key to making your makeup look natural is placement and blending. Just up, down, like so. And that will be your bronzer / contour. Next, we're going to use blush. I'm using a cream blush. Blush placement, we're going to start right outside. If you see where the iris is here, go straight down from that and go ahead and start right there. So we're just going to apply a little there and then up here as well, just following that natural angle of the cheekbone. Now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to blend up towards the hairline. You also want to kind of head towards the top of the ear. That's your line. And then if you want to bring a little bit more down on the apple, you can, or you can keep it a higher placement blush. I'm going to smile and just blend that through the apple a little bit. Like so. So again, taking that line right outside of the iris, we're going to start right about here. Place a little blush there, a little higher up. See that angle? We're taking basically from the nose to the top of the ear and then blending that out. Little smile. Now you can take what's left over on your brush and the forehead, nose, chin just a little bit to add a little bit more color throughout the face. Next, we're going to apply a cream highlighter or liquid highlighter. For highlighter placement, we're going to keep it simple and just go on the cheek. So we don't want to get it too close to the eye area. So an easy trick here is to place your finger right under your eye, follow that same angle that we were doing, and we're going to keep it a little higher. Start at the outer corner of the eye and go up. And see that placement of the highlighter? And you can either blend that out with your fingers or with a brush. And it's just going to be where the light hits the skin. You can take a little bit, you can do some above the brow, you can highlight the nose, but basics, we're going to keep it really simple, just right through here. The other side, we're going to do the same thing. So make your line, find the corner of your eye, and like that. That's where the light is going to hit. And it just adds some dimension and some nice life into the skin. At this point, if you do want to set the face with powder, that is when you would do it with the cream products. If you are using powder products, powder blush, powder bronzer, powder highlighter, you will have set your makeup before using those powder products with powder. With a fluffy brush, I'm going to tap off any excess, and I am just going to set down my T-zone. I am dry and in my 40s, so too much powder pulls all that moisture from my skin. Just like so. Takes that shine down just a little bit and brings the focus up into the cheek area. In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of eye makeup. For this lesson, you are going to need a brow pencil, eyeshadow, an eye pencil, mascara, and eyeshadow brushes. I have already prepped my eye with a sheer concealer and set it with powder. I've also set my brow with powder so that the pencil goes on smoothly and holds. First step is we want to do our eyebrow. Those frame our eyes and really set the stage for our eye makeup. We want to start with using the spoolie and brushing the brow up and out. Next, we're going to start by building the foundation of the brow. Start by using light pressure and small strokes and really define the bottom line of the brow. From there, you can go in and start doing little strokes that follow the natural direction of the brow. Do not use a lot of pressure. Keep the pressure very, very light so that you don't get a heavy brow, especially when you're working on the inner half. If you get that area too dark, it's going to give more of like an angry look rather than just a natural look. You can actually darken your arch a little bit more, and that adds a lot of nice lift to the eye. And then you're going to take your spoolie and you're going to brush through again. This blends the product with the brow hair. So a brow is starting here and ending here. Our arch is just on the outside of the iris for kind of mapping the brow out. And the brows do not need to look identical. You don't have to sit there and try to make them absolutely perfectly matching. They should be sisters, not twins. And then brushing through to blend that product. Fairly even. A step I always like to do after I do my eyebrows is take your powder one more time and just use it to set that brow in. Lock it into place. That way, all the filling in you did is going to last all day long. And even if you brush up against it on accident, you won't end up removing any of the makeup product. Next up, we're going to apply some eyeshadow. I'm going to use some natural tones, so right through here. And I like to start with a fluffy brush like this. And I'm using the lightest, it's a nice warm brown. I'm going to take this and apply it all over the lid area, and then bring my brush up and blend it up towards the eyebrow. Up and out just a little bit. You want to try to keep your eyeshadow within that line. So if you remember that imaginary line that we're going to draw to the tail of the brow, you want to try to keep the shadow within that area. Now we can just stop there and just do eyeliner if you'd like. I'm going to add one more color. We're going to go with this more medium tone, and I'm going to apply that one on the lid. Now we'll just add a little bit more depth to the eye area. The same on the other side. So we're taking that warm, a little bit lighter color, tap off any excess. Tapping off the excess helps so that you don't end up with a lot of fallout of eyeshadow around the eye where you don't want it. And if you use a brush like this, it really does the work for you. And blending with eyeshadow is really important. Don't be afraid to go higher up. I think back in the day we used to stop a lot lower and do like a big highlight, but really bring that eyeshadow up all the way almost to the brow. It will just open and lift the eye area a lot more. And then we're going to take that medium brown and apply that to the lid. Next, I'm going to use a detail brush, and I'm taking that second shade, so nice medium brown, tap off excess, and going to use it on the bottom lash line. I like to use eyeshadow instead of eyeliner on the bottom lashes when I'm doing a natural eye look. It's softer, it really opens the eye, and it looks really natural. It also wears very well. Reload your brush, tap off any excess, and apply it really wherever you have lashes on the bottom. So you don't have to be like, oh, I'm stopping halfway, or I'm gonna go 3/4 the way. Just keep it easy. Where you have lashes, just pop that on. If you want to come around the corner, you can, to kind of connect the bottom and the top. And that's going to be our eyeshadow basic. Next, we're going to do eyeliner. My favorite eyeliner technique is tight line. This is where you actually apply the liner from underneath, and we're going to go and apply the eyeliner right to the base of the lashes. So to do this and to show you, I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see. Use light pressure and just Go back and forth. Make sure you blink a few times so your eye doesn't get watery or too dry. And same thing, you can take it all the way to the inner corner or just go wherever you have eyelashes. Eyeliner is a great way to enhance your lash line. So you end up using a little bit, even less mascara than you would need to if you didn't have eyeliner on. So it's going right at the base of those eyelashes. And you can continue to make it darker as much as you like. If you want to make it a thicker eyeliner, you can also apply at the top. I like to put a little bit on the top, just on that outer corner to add a little lift. Okay, so that's Tightline. You don't really notice the eyeliner, but you see how it makes the eyes stand out more. It adds more definition. Now I'm going to go back into my palette and I am going to take a deeper color like this, tap off any excess, and I'm going to do what's called a double line. So I'm going from the top and I'm just smudging this right in the lashes. And you can either go part way, you can go all the way over. I like to concentrate most of that on the outer half because again, it gives the eye a lot of nice lift. And then that just blends in that tight line and it makes it look really natural and soft. And there are lots of ways to do eyeliners, lots of shapes you can do. You can do a wing, any of that, but this is just a really good basic everyday look you can throw on, and it's really fast and easy. And it looks great with any look that you're doing. If you did end up with any fallout, you can actually take a fluffy shadow brush that's clean, doesn't have eyeshadow on it, and you can actually brush that away. The other trick you can do is if you have any glitter that fell, or if you have like an eyelash or something that fell down, is you can take a spoolie and you can just lift that off, and it works really well. It won't mess up your makeup. You won't have to start over, and just go like that. Okay, last step for eyes is gonna be mascara. So mascara, I like to do my bottom lashes first because once you look up, if your lashes are wet, you'll end up with messing up your eyeshadow, which we don't want to do. So what you want to do is you want to look straight into the mirror. So if this camera is the mirror, I'm looking straight into it. You're going to tip your chin down, so you're looking up, and that's when you're going to hit your bottom lashes. And just start at the base and very, very lightly just pull your brush down like that. And you do both bottom lashes at the same, one after another. That way when you're looking up with one eye, you don't have to wait for it to dry to do the other one. Now, if you got the lashes too long, or if you get a clump on the lash, you can take the pads of your fingers and just very gently press that excess product onto your fingers, and it will lift off that extra mascara. And then we're going to dip our mascara wand again, and then to do the top lashes, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to tilt your chin up, look down into your mirror, open up your eyes, and get that mascara wand all the way to the base of the lashes where you applied the tight line. You're going to move the wand back and forth and then pull it through. If it's easier for you to kind of blink as you're doing it, I find that to be nice and easy. Also helps your eyes not to dry out. But you're going to be pressing up and going in the direction that those eyelashes are growing. You can do 1 or 2 coats. Just make sure if you do 2 coats, you're doing it while your mascara is still wet, so you don't end up with clumping or flaking mascara. Okay, and since we brushed only up, that's also going to help your eyelashes hold curl, whether you use an eyelash curler or not. You can create some curl by doing this technique. Down, moving that wand back and forth, and then blinking or pulling that wand through the eyelashes. Slight wiggle, and then pull it through. You want the majority of your mascara to be at the base of your lashes. If you get too much mascara on the tips of your lashes, that's where it can get clumpy, flaky. It could also weigh down the lashes so that they straighten out and they fall down. But if they're lifted and open, you actually see the lash more, even though it's the same length. It's just the angle of the lash. Okay, that is eyes. So what we did in this, to recap, we started with brows and filled in and defined our brows. Next, we used a nice eyeshadow palette. We just used 3 simple shades, 1, 2, and 3. We did a little bit of eyeliner and also smudged that with shadow. And then we finished off with mascara. Hope you learned lots, and I hope that your makeup turns out great. Thank you. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to apply your lip products. For this lesson, you are going to need a lip liner, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. For liner, I'm going to be actually using a lip stain liner. It doesn't blend as much as a regular liner. It stays on really well and you don't have to worry about reapplying throughout the day. So when I start lining the lips, I actually start on the outer corners and I work in from each corner, like so. So you think of it as like 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will actually help you get a more symmetrical lip line. So you want to start by applying the lip liner. Start, kind of go on the inside and follow that natural lip line. So start more inside, and then if you want to overline, you're going to overline a little bit higher up. Same thing here. Make sure they're even. And you'll notice too, I kind of put the lip liner flat onto the lip rather than using the point. And that's lip lining. Next, lipstick. Apply that all over and then just give it a nice smush. And lip gloss, I like to hit the center of the lips with the lip gloss. And then smush to blend all those beautiful products together. If you end up with any excess, just take your finger and lightly blot that away. And that's lips.